Hi, welcome to the Gemara on Chav Chet Amud Aleph. We're starting at the bottom of the Amud, immediately following the Mishnah. Tana Rabbanan. We learned in a Brayta, Batei Knesiot, Ein Nohagin Behen Kalut Rosh. In Batei Knesiot, in synagogues, you can't behave in a light-headed way. You can't behave with a lot of kind of silliness. It's a place of awe and respect. Ein Ochlin Behen, you can't eat there. Ve'ein Shotin Behen, and you can't drink there. Ve'ein Niutan Behen, and you can't beautify yourself there. Rashi says, "Ein mikashtin l'tocha." You can't adorn yourself while you're in there. Ve'ein mitailin behem, and you can't go for a stroll there. It's not a place to go for a walk. Ve'ein nichnasin behen b'chama mipnei hachama, and you can't go in there in the sun in the hot weather because of the hot weather. Meaning you can't go into a synagogue just to get out of the heat. Uvigshamim mipnei hagshamim, and you can't go in while it's raining just to get out of the rain. Ve'in maspidin behen hesped shel yachid, and you can't recite a eulogy there for an individual. Aval korin behen v'shonin behen umaspidin behen hesped shel rabim. But here are some things that you can do in a synagogue. You can read there, and you can learn there. So presumably learning Torah there. And Maspidin Behen Hesped Shel Rabim, you can give a public eulogy there. And Rashi says, Shel Tamid Chacham Shemet, Shetzrichin Lehitasef Ulahaspido, Ubebeit HaKnesset Ru'ui Lekach Lefi Shehu Bayit Gadol. When you have a Talmid Chacham, so as opposed to sort of a private citizen, when you have a Talmid Chacham who dies, you need a place for large amounts of people to gather, and that's appropriate to do in the shul, but you shouldn't do a eulogy for a sort of civilian in the shul. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, continuing the Brayta, Ematai, when is this true? B'yeshuvan, when the shul is settled, meaning the shul is operational. Aval b'chorbanan, menechinoto, ve'olin behen asavim. But when they're destroyed, you just leave the building alone, and grasses, weeds grow in it. And you shouldn't pull up the grass because of sadness. As we saw in the Mishnah, the grass, leaving the weeds growing there, will make you sad and will make you feel bad, feel like, oh, I wish this shul could go back to being a place that's built up and functional. So you see how this is sort of a parallel source to our Mishnah, sort of similar, but with some important differences as well. Now the Gemara comments on this. Asavim man zachar shmayu. Who literally grass, who mentioned their name? Meaning, why are we suddenly talking about weeds growing? Like, what does that have to do? The whole other part of the Mishnah, the whole first part of the Mishnah, the Tanna Kama, was all about uses for Beit HaKnesset, and now all of a sudden we're talking about letting grass grow. Like, what's going on? It's missing information, and here is how we should teach it. Here's how it should read. We're revising the Brayta. Umechabdinotan, umarbitzinotan, kidei shelo yalu behen asavim. You should take care of the floors of the shul, basically. Mechabdinotan and marbitzinotan are two kind of actions that you can do to dirt floors to preserve them. So I think mechabdin is to sweep the floor, and marbitzin is to sprinkle water on the floor, which keeps dust from rising. So you do those things so that grass will not grow in the shul. Meaning, what the Brayta is actually saying is that you need to do these things to a shul to keep grass from growing. And then, Amar Rabbi Yehuda says, Ematai, when is this the case that you need to do these things to keep grass from growing? B'yeshuvan. When the shuls are settled, when they're in use. Aval b'chorbanan, manichinotan lalot, right? But when the shul is destroyed, then you don't take care of the floor. You leave it to let the grasses grow. And when the grasses do in fact grow, you don't pluck them because of the possibility of agmat nefesh, because you want to allow for agmat nefesh. Amar Rav Asi, batei knesiot shebabavel al tnai hen asuyin. Rav Asi says that the synagogues in Bavel, in Babylonia, are built on a condition, meaning they're always built al tnai, on a condition that they can be used for other uses. That's what Tosfot says. That's what the interpretation seems to be here, that they would always build a shul, al t'nai that it could be used for other things. And even so, you shouldn't behave in a lightheaded way in the shul. You shouldn't behave disrespectfully. Umaynihu, and what is that? Meaning, what would constitute being disrespectful in the shul? Cheshbonot, making calculations, so kind of doing business deals in a shul. That would constitute lightheadedness or being silly in shul. Amar Rav Asi, Beit HaKnesset shemechashvin bo cheshbonot malinin bo et hamet. A shul where they make calculations, a shul where business deals are being done, is a place where a corpse will be left overnight, which is a really bad thing. It's a Torah prohibition. In fact, we don't leave corpses overnight. Malinin salkadayetcha? Really, we're going to leave it overnight? Is that what you think? Like that, again, it's a Torah prohibition, so it's not sounding like that's a reasonable thing for Rav Asi to say. Like, is it really that bad? So we're going to revise Rav Asi's statement. We're going to continue the question. Lo sagi delav hachi? Is this really like sort of like saying ad kedei kach? Is he really saying that you need to leave a corpse overnight in the shul? Ela l'sof she'alinu bo met mitzvah. No, just Rav Asi means that ultimately corpses are going to be left, dead bodies are going to be left overnight in this shul, dead bodies which are met mitzvah, because the idea is sort of in a community where the shul is used for business deals, the punishment will be that there are many people who die with no one to take care of them. That's a met mitzvah, and those bodies will be left in shul unattended overnight. So it's sort of like a curse that's going to come upon those who use the shul for business deals. Okay, we'll stop here.